Hello, judges. I'm John Evans of WECT News here in Wilmington, and this is my entry for Anchor of the Year for RTDNAC's TV Division 2. Now, chances are most of the entries you see for this award will have similar content. Anchors at their news desk or at another spot in their studio delivering news stories. Well, I do that as well at 5:30, 6, 10, and 11 p.m. every Monday through Friday. You'll see anchors doing live hits in the field, live shots, and I do them as well. But for my entry, I'm featuring content that I do not think you'll see from other anchors. First, I produce and host a podcast. And then for our regularly scheduled newscast, I put together kind of a preview segment to give people an idea of what they'll hear if they download the audio version or even the video version on our website. This episode, the first one in season 6, dealt with a very serious subject. We're starting season 6 of the One-on-One with John Evans podcast, and it begins with a conversation with news anchor Michelle Lee. Now, many of you may remember Michelle and I used to co-anchor the 10 o'clock news here on WECT. She's now working in St. Louis, and recently Michelle was the target of an ugly, racist voicemail left by one of the station's viewers. When anchoring on New Year's Day, Michelle did a story on why some families have traditional foods on the first day of the year. They eat them for good health or prosperity or fortune for the entire year. Being Korean, Michelle added her own family's tradition that they had dumpling soup on New Year's Day. That resulted in the viewer's voicemail, which Michelle has helped turn into a positive movement.
She's being very Asian, and I don't know. She can keep her Korean to herself.
So it's, we're on this system, so it's, saved in an email and sent to me. And I was actually leaving a video message for one of my friends. And I was playing it, and it came over on my computer speakers, and she was like, what? She messaged me right away, like, what was that? Because as soon as I played it, I actually was like, oh, I got to go, and hung up my video message for her. And then she texted me back right away and was like, holy crap, I'm so sorry. So then I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do here. But I just played it and listened to myself playing it. And then I sat on it for a minute. I mean, more than a minute. I sat on it, and then I was like, I think I'm going to post it. I think I'm going to post it on Instagram. So that's what I did. I posted it on Instagram because then you can do the captions. And it was just, I didn't say anything. I just listened to it.
Right. Sunday morning you get up. What was your first inclination that, this thing is taking a life of its own?
It's just my phone. I can't even imagine what people go through. You need a Sherpa when you get viral, because my phone was just blowing up, all these notifications on Instagram and Twitter. And I was like, what is happening? And I looked at Jim, because Jim. I looked at Jim and I said, I think this is getting some traction.
You did talk to the woman who left the voicemail. What was that conversation like?
I think the best way to describe it is it's complex. So she apologized. I believe she is sincere in her apology. And I think for me, I think the thing is, race is not going to get solved in one conversation. So we did promise that we would meet up one day when it's COVID safe. And I think that's a good start. So I think that there's just some work that needs to be done. I'm not here to do all that work for her, but right. I think it just goes to show you that race and bigotry or all those things, ignorance, can be really complex. And
you can hear my entire conversation with former WECT anchor Michelle Lee. It's on the new episode of the One-on-One with John Evans podcast, available right now. Free download on all the major podcast apps, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. And you can also click the links inside this story on WECT.com and listen there. This next piece of content is part of our team coverage of a winter ice storm event. Now, to augment our on-air newscast coverage, we did several live streaming hits on our OTT and digital channels. This is part of the coverage that I anchored from our OTT desk alongside our nightside meteorologist. And we have a meteorologist, Eric Davis, who's going to join us in a second. He's going to take a closer look at where things stand tonight. If you go on the WECT News Facebook page, I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. Maybe get a chance to ask a couple of questions that you might have of meteorologist Eric Davis as we head into tonight and then when things are supposed to get worse starting tomorrow morning. So let's go into the WECT studio right now with First Alert meteorologist Eric Davis. And Eric, give us an idea now if we still have the same kind of impact and timeline as we've had before from the storm.
Really no change from my vantage point, John.
That it's already raining in some areas, raining on Carolina Beach Road and Independence Road. Luann
Yes.
McCaskill told us that. What falls tonight isn't necessarily what we're concerned about freezing, though.
No.
That's more tomorrow and tomorrow afternoon, correct?
Exactly. The cold air is not here yet, but it's coming.
Before we go any further, let me just run down one more time. We do have schools that have decided to either close for tomorrow or move to remote learning for tomorrow. These school systems are remote learning on Friday because of the winter weather impacts. Eric, again, before we leave, we don't want to stand here too much longer because we know people have to continue to get their preparations. What are some of the things you're going to be looking at as tonight goes along that may give you a better idea of whether this storm is following the track that you think it's going to follow in the next 24 to 48 hours? Along with my nightly newscast anchoring, I'm also the political director here at WECT News, and I lead the station's political and election coverage. This final piece of content is from a candidates forum that I moderated. It's streamed live on our digital channels leading up to Election Day. All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Union Station Auditorium on the campus of Cape Fear Community College. My name is John Evans of WECT News. Honored to be the host for this, the second Town Hall Forum, put together by the media collaboration of WECT, WHQR, and Port City Daily. Those of you who have been in forums with me in the past know that I'm not going to cut you off at the word when 90 seconds stops, but we're not going to let you start another thought process and move forward. So I'll gently nudge you when you come to your time and not going to let you move forward past that. As long as anybody else doesn't have any questions, we're going to move forward with our candidate opening statements, and we're going to begin with each candidate in alphabetical order. You'll have 60 seconds for a response for this. Once again, keep your eye on Ben Shopman there in the beginning for the use of your time. Ms. Pierce, since you're right in the middle alphabetically, I think I'm going to start with you. I'd like to ask you, the background is housing affordability is an issue at the top of mind for many residents in southeastern North Carolina, and a third of New Hanover County residents are considered to be housing burdened. So the question, if you're elected, how will you use your time in office to address the affordable housing crisis that's affecting New Hanover County? 60 seconds, ma'am. As we said earlier, each candidate will have 90 seconds for a closing statement. We went in alphabetical order for the opening statement, so we're going to go in reverse alphabetical order for the candidate closing statements this evening, and that means we will begin with a closing statement from New Hanover County Commission candidate Rob Zappel. Mr. Zappel, you have 90 seconds, sir.
Yahoo! Thank you, John, for reversing it.
Before we go, I would like to remind everyone early voting is underway. That will go on through May the 14th. You can register and vote the same day at any of the early voting locations. Election Day is May the 17th. Once again, I'm John Evans of WECT News here in Wilmington. Thanks so much for watching this entry. I hope you find it worthy enough to name me Anchor of the Year.